I've been a poet, playwright. I've written for newspapers, and I've written for magazines. So, you know, my whole life I've been a writer since I was 8 years old. And one of the reasons that I accepted the very generous invitation to speak here today is because I, along with some very good friends of mine, founded an organization called the Allen Prize for Young Writers. And what we do is we consider ourselves a training organization, and we work with writers who are living in Trinidad and Tobago and aged 12 to 19. So the girl from the previous video, she would be, you know, thumbs up for my organization, the Allen Prize for Young Writers. And the reason that I think this is an important thing to do to support young people who write, not just because I was myself a young writer, but because, as she pointed out, using this very same image, young writers have changed the world. This is Anne Frank. When she was 13 years old, she got this diary. It was actually, I think, an autograph book. And she got this diary. She started writing in it. She was 13. And within a few months, her whole family were locked up in an attic to escape being taken to a concentration camp. She was killed when she was 15 in a concentration camp. She changed the world. Her diary was published after her death. It's since been translated into 60 languages. And has anybody here read it? 13 years old when she started that. This cutie here, this is Derek Walcott. Some of you may have heard of him, one or two. When he was 18 years old, he went to his mom and he said, look, I want to publish a book. He was living in St. Lucia. He had been a bright star all his life and writing since he was younger. His family put up the little money they had, and they published his book. He was 18. He's since gone on to be a Nobel Prize winner. You know what's the, yeah, right? Okay, cool. Derek Walcott, 18. This guy you might not be so familiar with, but have you heard of a book called Eragon? I see my brother in the back there got his hands up. Yeah, Eragon. Read the series twice. He was 19 years old when his family also got his family to publish this first book called Eragon. They've published 4 books in this series, which is called Inheritance, and altogether, they've sold 33 million. I feel like going million, okay. 33 million copies of his books. And he started writing those when he was 16, 17, okay? So teen writers have changed the world. And so can you. I think it's really important for us all, I know that the audience here is not just comprised of young people, but for all of us to encourage young people, and if we are members of the audience who are young people, to write. Because, well, I've got 5 good reasons. And reason 1, because you can. When I was a little girl, my mother used to say, and the older people in the audience will probably be like, yes, yes. Eat your food because they have children starving in Biafra. Biafra is a country that was at war with Nigeria. Well, they were actually a part of Nigeria, and they're now back as part of Nigeria. But there was this war and there was famine. So my mother used to say, eat your food because there are children starving in Biafra. And for the same reason, I think young people who can write should write, because it's a privilege. Worldwide, 796 million adults can't read or write. Young people worldwide, there are 131 million young people who have who don't have basic literacy skills. So you here, I mean, I think everybody here can, yeah? So you here who can read and can write ought to, because you can. Reason number 2, nobody is living your life experience but you. Nobody. You are unique, and your experience is unique. The young people in the audience, what books did you read in school? Okay, you read Green Days by the River, okay. Miguel Street. Did anybody here read a book about a young person living in Trinidad and Tobago in Port of Spain in 2012? Anyone? Anyone? Bueller? No, nobody did, because that book doesn't exist, right? So nobody is living this experience, and nobody's writing about this experience. What about newspaper columns? Anybody in here, okay, other than me, have a newspaper column? No? Write for a magazine. Write in a TV show. Write in a movie. These are your opportunities to tell your experience. Seize them, okay? Because nobody is living your experience, and nobody can tell your experience like you can. Reason number 3 is one of the best ways to get to know yourself. Many of you, I'm sure, have written in your diary, just like little Anne Frank. Anybody here has written in a diary, in a journal? Yeah? So the nice thing about writing in a journal, that journal does not judge you. It does not shake its head sadly at you. It does not chastise you, it don't buff you up, it don't tell you anything. It just accepts who you are, what you tell it. Your experiences, your life, your successes, your failures, the person who broke your heart, the person who makes your day. Okay? It's a really good way to unload those feelings and to get to know yourself better. Reason number 4, writing is hard. And I'm just going to leave that there. Reason number 5, writing is a key skill in the workplace. Now you think, please, in this age of computers and IT, and nobody needs to learn to write. No. How many of you today read an email, went on Facebook, tweeted? Communication may have changed, but the written word is still very important. And increasingly, people are recognizing that good communicators in the workplace need to have good written writing skills. And they're rewarded. People with writing skills have access to better jobs, and when they're in good jobs, they have access to more promotions. And so that's my 5th reason. So that I want to conclude by saying, even if you don't, believe like me that writing is sexy, it is. But even if you don't believe that, think about the other reasons that I've given you. And if you are not eligible to enter the Allen Prize for Young Writers, that's okay. You might have a little brother, a little sister who's between 12 to 19 years. I encourage you to encourage them to look us up. And even if you don't want to enter the competition, write. Yes, and I'm looking at you. Write. Because you can, because you should. Thank you.